In Wizard101, mostly every area you encounter, you are hit with a paywall. This is especially known in the starting areas. Cyclops Lane, boom, paywall. Firecat Alley, another paywall. And guess what? Colossus Boulevard, another paywall. However, what we want to know is how far can you make it in Wizard101 without a membership or crowns? Before we get into it, we do have some ground rules to set. Anything having to do with crowns and membership are not allowed. If it can be bought with crowns, it is not allowed. Now that we have that out of the way, the first thing I did was choose a specific wizard. I decided to play the Ice class. Since I don't have an Ice class, I just wanted to see what it would be like. Now really, all there was left to do was choose my name. And, well, it took me about 5 minutes. So the first thing I did as I went into the game, I told Merle Ambrose to buzz off with his tutorial, and I headed straight for Unicorn Way. The first part of my journey to becoming the ultimate Pokemon Master was talking to Private Connie, which she gave me a quest to defeat some Lost Soul. After I was done completing the Lost Souls quest, I went to Serenite-chan and he gave me another quest to defeat Dark Sprites. Along the way, I talked to this old lady and Private Connie again, and they sent me on a quest to defeat some Skeletal Pirates. The Skeletal Pirates were pretty easy. Not really sure why that one guy was locked in his own house. Big baby, that's what he is. After this, I was tasked to see Lady Oreo, the queen of the sprites. Or whatever that is, I don't know. I opened all the bone cages and defeated some dark sprites, and for my last quest in Unicorn Way was to defeat Rattlebones. I killed Rattlebones after fizzling about 2,000 times, and was rewarded with some nice slippers. So I turned in the quest to Serenite-chan, the guy who just stood there and didn't help you at all, and by the end of Unicorn Way I was level 4. Defeating Rattlebones gave me the title Slaughterer of Unicorn Way. I was then tasked by Merle Ambrose to visit the Ravenwood professors, which I had no business with because their school spells suck, and you're better off using your own school spells. By this time I had a dorm, which practically served no purpose because I had no housing items whatsoever. I left Ravenwood and headed for Oldie Town, where another guard told me to defeat some crazy old lady that died a long time ago. So guess what? Back to Unicorn Way. Not gonna lie, the old lady did put up a good fight. Sort of. You guys know there's actually a pet of this boss? It's called the Pale Maiden. Anyway, after I defeated the old lady, I went back to Oldie Town to turn in the quest to the guard. By now, I was already level 5. The guard then gave me more problems to solve because he was too lazy to do so. I could either go to Firecat Alley, Triton Avenue, or Cyclops Lane. Now sadly for us, since we don't have membership or crowns, our only option is to choose Triton Avenue. In Triton Avenue, the first thing I did was talk to Susie Griffinbane. She asked me to investigate the whereabouts of her missing brother in the haunted cave, which I had to walk about 1,000,000 miles because it was so far away. Even though you have a 20% mount, it means nothing if it ain't 40%. I then told Susie Griffinbane to screw off because I didn't know where her brother is. Then I meet this Duncan Grimwater and he tells me he doesn't have treasure cards and he wants me to fight these haunted minions and what are these, rotting fathers or something? I don't know. After this I went into the bazaar to see how expensive Tuft's treasure cards were. There was only one, and as poor as I was, I bought the only one they had. I then went back to Triton Avenue to finish the storyline. I did a lot of defeat and collect quests, and let me tell you, it was pretty boring, and pretty lengthy. However, we had made it to the Harvest Lord. This boss almost killed me, but I killed him before he could do that to me. I rescued Susie's dumb brother who got lost. I turned in the quest and was rewarded with a nice piece of armor. And by the end of Triton Avenue, I was level 7. Being level 7 allowed me to train pets and unlock fishing. So the first thing I did was go visit Lucky Hookline. He told me to go away because I didn't have enough gold for his spells. After grinding for a while, I was able to come up with about 7,000 gold. I bought all his spells and went on my merry little way. Now I know what you're all thinking, Hunter, you can't possibly finish this quest because all of those fishes are in those paywall areas. Yeah, I know the fishes are there, but there is one loophole around it, and that is housing tours. In under an hour, I was able to catch all the fish in other people's houses. I then decided to do all the side quests that were available in Wizard City. I helped Penny Dreadful with her weird fixation on undead. I helped the circus master get more cult members. I helped some lady outside of the Golem Tower collect cogs. I took some pictures for Annie Shutterbug of some random NPCs. I defeated Roberto in his mom's basement. And finally took care of the Kraken in Triton Avenue. I did not do the Yellow Brick Road quest because it only granted me 5 experience and that was not worth my time. By the end of all those side quests and the main storyline side quests that we could get for free, we achieved level 9. And you might think this is the end of the video, we reached the conclusion. However, through the use of housing gauntlets, we can achieve even more than what we have right now. So I loaded up my main account to do the gauntlets with this account. And what I can say though is if you have friends in high places, use that to your advantage. But I don't have any, so. The one nice thing about these gauntlets is that you can usually achieve 1 full level, depending on what level you are. However, once you achieve it the second time you go in again, you only get half of that experience. So armed with that knowledge, I did every housing gauntlet twice. The first gauntlet I did was the Spiral Cup. And it was actually pretty easy, I just let my max level do all the work. In theory, I could have just let my max level take out all the creatures, but I wanted some of the rewards from the bosses on that small little character. The next dungeon involved Larry the Lobster trying to win the tournament and get revenge. Needless to say, he didn't win. At the end of the dungeon, we got a purple cloth on top of a pedestal, so that was worth it. The next 2 gauntlets I decided to do was the Great Clock and the Accursed Play. Upon entering the dungeon, I reviewed and I saw that it only granted 100 experience. However, I did still stay for the rewards. The next 2 dungeons were relatively the same, except they gave more experience. Winterbane and Midnight Sun Pagoda gave a nice, decent chunk to level me up all the way to level 15. In addition, I got to replace my old stick. By now, we only had 1 dungeon left, and that was the Fantastic Voyage Expedition. In this dungeon, we got to meet a penguin that wanted to study microfish. I didn't really care what he was doing, I just wanted experience. I defeated an old man with severe dementia, and was rewarded with a fishing luck elixir that I didn't need. After turning in the quest, I leveled up to level 16. And to answer that question, how far can you go in Wizard101 without membership or crowns? Well, level 16. That's not to say you can't keep grinding for levels, it's just gonna be really difficult and time consuming, which I really don't recommend. When everything was all said and done, I went to see Simon in Ravenwood. You know, the guy that stocks the boys' dormitory outside? Anyway, he directed me to some turtle in the shopping district. But before I went to that turtle, I went to the bazaar and sold all of my stuff that I've gotten through the dungeons. And with my newly found fortune, I decided to buy some new clothes. And finally went to the talking turtle to buy my new castle. Well, wooden cottage, but whatever. And this is how far we got in Wizard101 without membership or crowns. So, what have we learned in this video? Go buy membership. That is gonna do it for this video, and if you realized who I was parodying and made it this far into the video, props to you. Alrighty guys, but seriously, like the video if you enjoyed it, dislike it if you didn't enjoy it, but I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care and peace out.